and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Janet Murray-Wakelin, who is a raw vegan and whose film was previewed at the Cannes Film Festival this year, the biggest film festival in the world, and it's called Raw, the documentary. So we'll be talking about that. She also went on the Pilgrim Way through France and Spain, and she'll be talking about that with her husband Alan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the Cannes Film Festival. What was it about, and how was your first experience there?
Well, it really was quite incredible.
Yeah.
We were really excited because our film, which we're still in the process of making, the documentary, the feature film, we were able to submit a short preview of the film to the film festival, and out of 35,000 submissions we were chosen along with a few others to screen that preview. And to do that, it's just wonderful because it then shows what the film is going to be about to all the filmmakers and people in the industry, distributors especially, who can then show their interest.
Yeah.
And so that is exactly what happened.
That's beautiful. Well, it's pretty huge to go to the Cannes Film Festival. It's the biggest film festival in the world.
Yes.
Gee, when you go there, you know you're really reaching out to people about this raw vegan message.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because the whole atmosphere there is actually quite unreal, if you like, because filmmaking obviously is somewhat unreal.
Yeah.
A lot of very famous people there, and a few, for us two grannies to be there, yes, we've done a few things that are, somewhat amazing to some people, but to be there in amongst that atmosphere was just, pretty mind-blowing, actually.
But it's kind of, what you've done really is amazing. I wouldn't say to some people, I'd say to all people, because I don't know anyone your age who's living on only raw vegan food, fruit and vegetables mainly, who's run around Australia, the whole of Australia, including Tasmania, who has walked this Camino walk from France to Spain. It's, you're showing, it's nothing light, it's something really powerful, and it's probably something that everybody inside would love to know more about and would love to find something in themselves where they can do maybe some part of that in their own life.
That's right. Well, I mean, the reason why we live this way, obviously, is because we've found the secret to being healthy and happy, and in very, very different ways throughout our lifestyle, and being able to share that with people is really part of why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So running around Australia took us a year to run all the way around, and so during that time we got some really good media coverage, which then brings that message of how and why, and we were able to do that, especially, as you say, at our ages. And also then after that, or since then, we've done the walk through France and Spain. So,
and how was the film received?
The film was very well received. It was a short version of the feature film that will come out next year. And it was amazing how many people were just so interested in the message that it conveys. Yeah. And that, of course, is, encouraging and inspiring people to live a more conscious lifestyle in ways of looking consciously and thinking consciously and acting consciously with every choice they make in life. And that's, obviously the food we eat and the exercise that we do, that part of it is a lot to do with our own health, but then looking towards the health of all living beings and the planet. It's all connected, and everybody's concerned with that in some form or another. And so when they can see it as living proof and an example, then they're interested to find out, how can we do some of that.
And this film that you are in the process of making as well is called Raw, the documentary.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
This is also about helping the planet if this message gets out, because even the Pope has talked about something about environment and planet. So
that's
how
exactly
does being
right.
a raw vegan help the planet?
It's huge. Like I said, it's connected. Everything's connected. So basically being raw vegan means that you only eat plants and vegetables uncooked. So the uncooked part of it is to do with your own health, so keeping the amount of nutrients in the food as complete and full as it comes naturally. The fact that it's vegan, which means it's plant-based, has no animal products whatsoever. Another reason is for your health, but the main reason really is that we don't need to raise animals for meat and for products that we're eating. And there's a whole area in there that if people were to investigate, they would find that this is not conscious living, and it is not kind and compassionate as we're, taught to be. And also it's totally unnecessary, for our health. For the environment, it's huge, because when animals are raised in agribusiness, it creates a huge amount of pollution, gas emissions. They use massive amounts of water to rear the animals. And we raise food, plant-based foods, to feed the animals that could actually feed the world. We can just just take that right out of the picture, and it'll be a huge difference, especially obviously to the animals.
Beautiful. It's good to educate people, because a lot of people just go along with the flow, what's happening, what's in the shops, what's available, and not many people are aware of this. So I think it's important to actually put the message out there so people actually start to think about it.
That's right, and making the connection between what you're eating and where it came from.
Yeah.
So, with animal products, obviously, it came from a living being and a sentient being. So that meat that you're eating is actually coming from, you have to take a life for a start off, and sometimes during that process there's a lot of cruelty that those poor animals have to go through for us to put it on a plate. So looking at that from that point of view. Then the products that come from the animal products, they're processed in some form, and so then whatever nutrients may have been there are either lost or being added, etc. So it's not a natural way of eating at all.
Beautiful. About to go to break now. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Jeanette Murray-Wakelin, who ran around Australia, and they've made a documentary with her husband and her, Alan, who ran around Australia, called Raw the Documentary, which has been previewed at Cannes, the film festival, and she's also done a Camino walk from France to Spain, which is called the Pilgrim Way through France and Spain. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Now tell us a little bit about what stage the film is at now.
Well, the film is at post-production stage. So what that means is that it needs to be edited, a lot of cutting and putting the music to it. So basically finishing the film. And up until this stage, we and the film production crew have been working on, doing everything else to get it to that stage, including getting the short film into the Cannes Film Festival. And we've been doing that just in our own time to try and put that together. Now we're looking at getting the professionals in so that we can finish the film and get it into the film festivals for next year. So 2016, we've got deadline is pretty much March.
Okay, wow. And so you need to get some more sponsorship for it to carry it the rest of the way to the next year for the Cannes Film Festival?
Yes, that's true. We really only need about $50,000 to get it finished. We've been sponsored up until this point, and that has worked really well for us. But now we're looking to just get that finished, because the editors, the people that do all the cutting, the musicians, etc., they need to be paid.
Yeah.
We've done what we've done for free. Obviously, we're very passionate about getting the film out, but now we need to raise that money now. So we are looking for sponsors, and we will have a crowdfunding website, or up on our website as well.
So if people are watching now and say they're interested in sponsoring, because they'll get a lot of advertising if it's in the Cannes Film Festival next year.
Absolutely.
What's your website? Where would they go to?
The website is rawveganpath.com. That's all together. And on the website there's a short trailer for the film, as well as a link through to our crowdfunding site. If they, pretty much they can go on there, and then they can look at sponsorship from that crowdfunding site at this point. They can also contact us directly.
Right. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Well, I hope some people can sponsor it so that this beautiful message can get out there. I mean, it's not every day you hear about things like this. This is a really unique thing, and to walk all around, walk from France to Spain, and to run all around Australia. I mean, in your 60s, and Alan just turned 70 yesterday.
That's right, yes. Well, we did the walk, and we've only just really recently finished that walk. Because after we'd run around Australia, a lot of people were saying to us, well, we could never run a marathon a day, or even a marathon at all, because, we'd rather walk or do something like that. So we thought, okay, we can give that example too. So that was really one of the main reasons why we decided to go and do that walk now at this time, so that we can show, there's lots of things you can do to stay healthy and physically fit and so on, even at this age.
That's beautiful. And so what age were you when because you did the walk this year, didn't you?
This year.
So in
65 and 69.
65 and 69 at the time of this walk.
Yes.
And I had a little bit of a chat with Alan on the phone yesterday, and he was saying, like, there's so many people getting blisters that were so much younger than you, and
That's
and
right.
you were just like out walking all these people.
Yes,
just by living on pretty much fruit and veggies.
Yes, well, you can get fruit everywhere, and we basically, during the walk, we had mostly fruit because that's what was available to us. We didn't really look at going out to restaurants because most of them didn't have food that we would eat. We were just going to the markets or getting fruit. There were places right out in the middle of nowhere where it might have been difficult to get some food, especially raw food. And the local people had put bowls of fruit out from their own trees, especially for the people that are walking the Pilgrim Way, because it's a whole different thing. It's not like going for a hike in the country. It is a specific walk that there's a reason for doing this walk, and there are many reasons. And it really, the pathways all lead to a place in Spain, which is where the Saint Jacques or Saint James or Saint Jacobus, all the same man, had come originally from Jerusalem to speak about living a more conscious lifestyle, strangely enough. Living more in kindness and compassion with each other, and so on. So it resonated for us to follow his pathway, and a lot of those pathways come from all over Europe. They can come from beyond Jerusalem, beyond in Scandinavia, in the south of Spain, Portugal, places like everywhere, and they all come to this one place, Santiago de Compostela.
Wow. That's so beautiful. But you actually started in France, didn't you?
Yes, we started in Paris.
Yeah.
So we walked from Paris south to the Spanish border, and that was about 1,100 kilometres at that point. And then we crossed the Pyrenees and started on what is known as the Camino, and that is the Spanish 800-kilometre walk across Spain from east to west.
Right. And was there, mentioned some reasons why you did it, because people were saying it's too hard for running all around Australia, and then now you're doing walking. Well, we won't run around Europe, we'll walk around Europe.
That's right.
So, and were there other reasons that you did this particular trail as well?
For us in particular, the main reason was because we knew about it. We used to live there some years ago. In fact, almost 30 years ago, we lived and worked in Europe and in France. And we we could see these trails going, you know, through the woods. We could see most of them follow, there's crosses to follow in a lot of places. And we'd see the crosses going out into the...
Crosses of Jesus' cross.
The cross.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
And we thought, you know, it'd be great to just be able to do that. And I was running at the time, and I would be able to go for my run for the day, but I had to turn around and come back.
Yeah.
So we always wanted to come back and do it.
Okay, well, we'll continue with the story. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us here, we're with Janet Murray Wakelin, who has done the Camino walk with her husband, Alan, who's not here though, unfortunately, and she's talking about the walk from France to Spain. Let's keep continuing. You've been a raw vegan, of course, as well for 14 years.
Yes. So in preparation for this walk, we obviously looked into a lot of, information that we could find. And there's a lot out there now. It's become very, very popular, not only for people who live in Europe, but for people all around the world are going to walk the Camino, which is basically that walk across Spain. And others are doing it from, other areas as well to join that walk. And they do it for various different reasons. And for us, we had a lot of reasons, but obviously we already knew about it and we wanted to go and do it when we had the time to do so. And because we were going over this year earlier to the Cannes Film Festival, we thought, well, let's just stay and do the walk. And it was a great thing to do after being at Cannes amongst all the, the festivities and so on, and then going out there and just walking for 80 days through, some wonderful countryside and following the Pilgrim Way. So for hundreds of years, pilgrims have walked from various places throughout Europe towards Santiago de Compostela and following the way that towards where St. James was, teaching. And so there's various reasons, as I said, why people go there. But mainly, it is commonly known that each person that walks towards Santiago de Compostela is walking their own way. Mm-hmm. Even though there may be a lot of people together, or you may be walking with your partner, as I was, or you may be walking alone, it is your own journey. And so it's an inner journey. And it can be spiritual, it can be religious, it can be so many things, and so many people are out there to really find the reason, or a reason, what is life all about, why are we here, what is it, how can we live in a way that is going to be, kind and compassionate, how can we bring that into our own lives and today. And what we found was that most people found something, and not all of us it was the same. So for everybody, it's something different.
And did you find you had some blessings along the way taking this trail?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah. I mean, it can be highly spiritual. A lot of people come because it does follow the way to Santiago. It follows, basically, it goes. A lot of people say, it goes from church to church. So it does, all the way along are all these different churches, sacred places, monasteries, various different places of, spiritual teachings, and different religious backgrounds as well. And as you go along, even if you are following any religion or you're not, you do follow what has come before and what has gone before. And so that becomes a part of what you're doing and who you are.
And is it St. James, did he do the walk, or was it his relics that were carried there, or was it him actually going there to talk?
He went there in the first place from Jerusalem. He walked to Santiago, which is where he then was based for the teachings. And and he walked various different areas around that general area in northwestern Spain,
Right.
teaching. Then he went back to Jerusalem. So he has actually walked both ways.
Oh, wow.
But the pilgrim ways are the ways that the various pilgrims have walked to there
Right.
from any direction
Yeah.
as well, which is why it's called the Pilgrim Way. So it's a pilgrimage towards the area where his teachings were brought forward. Later, when his relics were brought by sea and were brought in to an area which is as far west as you can go in Europe. And it's not very far, it's about 4 days walk from Santiago de Compostela to the ocean. And it was, in those days, it was known as the end of the earth.
Oh, okay.
And it is still known as Finisterre, which means the end of the earth.
Okay.
And that's where, that's where it was brought into there and then
Okay.
brought to Santiago. And the cathedral, of course, is there as a monument to his teachings.
Oh my gosh. And what was the experience personally like for you going through this special walk?
It was extremely... you actually can't describe it,
Yeah.
to be honest. There's no single word
Yeah.
that describes the experience. It's something that I would highly recommend anybody and everybody to do
Yeah.
in some way for themselves.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. I mean, I'm, pretty spiritual anyway,
Yeah.
in ways that, I like to connect with nature as well. And obviously, the animals, the history of so many people coming through there was so much, so many blessings that are along the way. And the other thing too was that in a lot of these churches and sacred places, there were blessings for the pilgrims, today's pilgrims.
Oh, how
So those
beautiful.
of us that were walking the way,
Yeah.
we could join in and to
Get
be
blessings.
blessed in
Oh,
the
that's
various places.
beautiful.
And then, of course, when you get to the end, to Santiago, in the cathedral, there's a huge blessing for all those that finish.
Oh my
there.
gosh. Were people crying and anything when they got to
Absolutely.
the end? Oh my
Yes.
God. That must have been so beautiful.
very emotional, yes.
Oh wow. Did you film any of it? Or take any
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I took a lot of photos.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, when we do it again, we'll probably do it from a different direction.
Yeah.
Another pathway, I may not take a camera at all,
Yeah.
because in a lot of ways, you just experience what you see and what you feel.
Yeah.
But I did take a lot of pictures
Yeah.
and put them up on the Facebook
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
for people.
Oh, well, we've unfortunately come to an end for the program, but would you like to come back again some other time to finish the rest of the story? Because
Absolutely.
you went to China as well after the walk.
That's right. Yes, that I can certainly share a lot of wonderful stories, about the Camino and
the rest of the Camino,
Pilgrim
yeah.
Walk, and
Okay.
yes, and of course
Beautiful.
our time in China just recently.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for coming on the program. You've been watching Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. I hope you enjoyed the program here with Janet Murray Wakelin. See you again soon.